and try to encourage the citizens. Also, when the bad weather was out, I tried to go live, to encourage the citizens, to go in emergency mode and, and to seek shelter. And I really enjoyed it. I went by and I visited at the Red Cross thing. And it was just so neat, because that was my first time ever seeing a shelter. And they had some nice, little comfortable beds. And, they had a lot of food for them and stuff like that. But I was just trying to see, was there anything I could do? But it looked like they had, everything set up and stuff like that, which I don't mind volunteering because that's what I'm here for. I'm a servant at the end of the day because that's what I was voted in to be, a servant of our constituents and citizens. And my hands go off to you. For all you do with the Red Cross and everything. And I just want to make this mention to our citizens: help beautify our city. Don't make our city ugly. And the reason why I say that is we are what we are because we make our city who it is today. And I feel like this. We have the junk drop-off dates. If you got junk, go drop it off. If you got junk in your yard, if you missed the date, we got a big landfill out there. You can take your trees, take everything. But please do not make our city look a mess. Because we are a reflection of what we do. And if we make our city bad and look bad, it's going to reflect on that. And I just feel like, just like we give yard of the month, somebody need a yard of the month. But I just feel like, do not make our city look bad. I mean, if it's not trash, it's supposed to not be there, please don't put it there. Because you have a neighbor, and some people believe in their yards being clean. Some people believe in their yards looking nice. Some people believe in their roads and their streets looking good. And that's what I believe in.
You believe in
I believe in that. I mean, I sit up here after Miss Georgia, she announces about the junk drop off. I go right back and I say, about the junk drop off because I feel like if you got some junk, drop it off. I'm serious. You don't want nobody dropping off stuff in your yard, so take the stuff and drop it off.
You're right.
Because we are our city. We are our city. And I want to express that and I want to feel that. Because I don't want to ride down the streets and you got trash and sofas and you got mattresses and stuff like that. Oh, we get those calls, don't we, Roger? Mm-hmm. We get those calls. And me as a commissioner, they want me sound like they want me to go get them up. I'm serious.
So you don't have a truck?
I don't have a truck.
Okay.
But I be wanting to do that. But the thing about it is, I feel like as a citizen and as a constituent of Douglas, Georgia, help keep Douglas beautified.
Yeah.
That's right.
We are known for a beautiful city. And the capacity we have, you mentioned Douglas to anybody, they say that's a nice place to live. People retire and come here to live. And I just feel like we are what it's made to be. And I feel like if we keep it going on and just keep it striving to be something and keep the activities coming in, Douglas will really grow. It will really grow because I'm going to have children, even though I'm playing bold.
You hope. Hey, we leave that joke alone. We leave that joke alone.
But I'm just still saying, we are what we are. And I just commend all these commissioners, how we work together. How me and Commissioner Cindy McNeil, how we worked together this weekend. I tell you, it wasn't a dull moment with her.
That's exactly right.
But I really
From the
enjoyed
snake
it.
handling, we do anything for the city.
The snake was cold on my neck.
Yes.
But those are the things you
I
can't.
shared it
I mean, those
with
are the things that the memories that you are always remember. That's just like I sat down with Commissioner Bob Moore's wife, and we conversated. Those are memories that you're gonna always treasure and stuff like that. Mr. Roper, it was just a great conversation.
Oh, yeah.
It was just good. But that's all I got to say because I'm talking too much. So.
Amen. I was finna call the pastor see if we can go and get us a collection plate or something going.
I got one. Hold on. I got one.
Hey, Tay, I got 2 trucks. Just call me.
Okay.
Just go. Commissioner McNeil.
Gosh, that's hard to follow. I'm telling you,
serious.
that is a hard act to follow, y'all. We could say amen and go home after that, I think. But on a very serious note, I want to say my weekend started off very, very well on Friday with the legislative reception that they had out at Dock Hill Farms. The chamber hosted that with a group of, I think we had a total of 12 or 13 state senators and legislators from all over not just the Southeast, but what the chamber was attempting to do here with the help of our Senator Tyler Harper and with Dominic Laricchia, state representative, they and Clay Perkle, they were hosting these other legislators here to show them what Douglas and Coffee County is all about, to thank them for their support, for bills that these guys had endorsed or had put out. And y'all, the response was just tremendous. If you could have been there and heard their comments about what we have going on here and how they'd like to take some of our ideas back to their communities. I sat with a young couple from Atlanta whom I didn't know, and I'm kind of famous for trying to find somebody that I don't know and meeting them. Come to find out, he had attended law school with my son, so it's a small world. He is now a state representative in, I believe it was Marietta, somewhere up in Atlanta. Of course, my conversation began with, where are you from? Where do you live? And but they were so complimentary, again, of what we have going on here. And again, on a side note, I want to thank Georgia Henderson and her department, not just hers, but initially hers, for coordinating the events this weekend, the other events with the barbecue festival and outdoor festival. That is no small undertaking, and I think Commissioner Durham and I saw firsthand behind the scenes, backstage, what goes on. She did a tremendous job, and her support staff, all of you, all of our group, from the electric department, who begins work, 2 weeks in advance of something like that.
Yes.
Again, kudos, compliments to Brian Norris for bringing the caliber of entertainment we enjoyed here in Douglas, Georgia. My son from Atlanta said, I can't believe you're having J.J. Gray come to Douglas, Georgia. I'd never heard of him. But when I saw that these ticket sales came from Cincinnati or from West Palm Beach, from Houston, Texas, places like that, who had never heard of Douglas, Georgia before this concert. And this goes back to my quality of life thing and the bandstand that I get on sometimes, wanting things for Douglas, Georgia that will attract other people and bring our children back here. So thank you again, Georgia. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs.
Well, they got JJ because I had to do the welcome.
Oh, that's it. That's it. We also enjoyed giving out the $15,000 in prize money
We did.
that the barbecue gentlemen, with all the sponsors and endorsements and everything they had for that promotion. That's a big deal. So those people were very proud of that.
Outstanding. Commissioner Gowan, how you doing down there?
All right. I'm sorry I missed the barbecue festival this weekend. I was a little bit under the weather, but I was able to see the setup, and I appreciate everybody who took part and got everything running. One thing that we were able to do, there was about 22 of us from Douglas and Coffee County were able to go down the weekend prior, the Labor Day weekend. We went out to Louisiana to help do some storm cleanup out there from the floods. To give you an idea, there's about 60,000 homes out there that have been damaged or destroyed. Our group, our church group, we made a commitment to help them, and we got about 11,000 volunteers over 3 different weekends. So we were the third weekend that went. We had, in addition to the 22 from here, we had folks from Albany, Valdosta, Pearson, Nashville, and Tifton, and we were also able to take a trailer full of donated items. So we were very, I tell you, we had, our youngest was 12, and then we had, just on up from there. But I tell you, the young people that went with us gained a new appreciation for, what we have here. And I felt very fortunate that that the storms that we had come in that weekend didn't cause any damage here. Appreciate Mr. Jacobs and everybody making sure that we were updated. I got, with our having the cell phones and everything, he made sure that he knew or kept us informed about what was going on. I appreciate all our city employees, public safety, and our utilities being ready to go, 'cause I felt like we were prepared if something had happened here, that we'd have been ready to go. And we see, some of these other towns that took a pretty good hit, so we were very fortunate there. But we were able to help out there folks that really needed it, senior citizens and all, and it kind of opened my eyes. I've been able, it's been 10 years now, it hardly seems like it's gone by. We went out during that last hurricane season when Katrina hit. There was a couple more hurricanes, and we helped go clean up. But it's devastating. If you've never seen we were talking amongst ourselves about it, you'd probably rather have your house burned to the ground than it be flooded, because it is a very nasty job that your stuff is destroyed, but you can still get to see it. And then, it comes in mold. It's a very, it's not a pleasant sight to go through. So I feel very fortunate that we haven't had to deal with that. But you don't ever know. That's what we told the people. Just glad to help you out, because we don't know when we'll need that help one day. One thing, and I know a bunch of you have seen it, but I want to speak out about a situation I've seen. I'm not going to dignify him with a name, but this backup quarterback in the NFL, apparently he wants to make a display out of not saluting our national anthem and our flag. And I want to speak up as an elected official. That's an issue that I feel very strongly about. When I think about standing for the flag, as we do each time for our meetings, I think about it's showing respect for the principles upon which our country was founded, upon which we believe, and the freedoms that we enjoy here, and especially for the men and women who have fought and defended that freedom. That's what I think it means when I stand for the flag. It doesn't mean that I respect or believe in every principle that every political party or every government holds in this country. Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but it means I'm an American citizen and I believe in the principles upon which our country was founded. And I strongly disagree with his display of his freedom of speech, and I would recommend and commend to any young American to follow the example of these two young folks we had here this evening, who show ultimate respect to what we have. We're Americans, and we can disagree about policies, but we all are governed by the same principles and the same freedoms here, and I'm very grateful to have those freedoms. And my advice to anybody who doesn't want to stand for it or don't agree, they need to find another country to move to. And they won't have to worry about standing for our flag. They can sit down and do what they please. One thing that we didn't bring out the work session, Mr. Roper has taken the spearhead on this, but the miracle field that we're talking about, we want to make sure that we get the word out there. We want to construct this field to help our young people and adults who are disabled. That's the idea. Mr. Jacobs announced tonight, our goal, we're going to need somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000 to $800,000 to make this happen, and we've already got a commitment of a citizen who was impressed enough with the idea that they've already willing to kick that off to the tune of about $15,000. So we want to make sure that we'll get more details to you. I think, Stevie, do you have the map of the facility, proposed facility? You can go by the Douglas Parks and Recreation Department and see the concept that we have. We've got the people in place to do it. We just need to raise the money. And I doubt there's very many people, if any, in this room who don't have friends or family members who have a disabled person in their family that can make use of this facility. And so I would invite everyone in the community that can, to save you pennies, whatever you can do, but let's do what we can to raise that money as quick as possible. I think that'll be a wonderful facility that'll be well used by not only our county but surrounding communities as well. That's all I have, Mayor.
Outstanding.
Yes.
I make some comments here. One, the thing about the flag. I retired from the military. Let me say this right here, and I want to make sure I preface this correctly. I'm appalled that somebody would not stand for our national anthem. But I also remember a very vivid year, 1989, when I was in the military, and the Supreme Court said that burning the United States flag was protected under freedom of speech. So, as Commissioner Gowan said, our principles and our beliefs, peaceful protest protest. We don't always agree
Right.
with the method of protest, but that is one of the things that make us great about our country. We do have these liberties, and we disagree with them. I disagree with the Ku Klux Klan.